Local support for News 6 has been provided by the Ropey Rubber Corporation of Astoria, the Northwest Ohio Educational Technology Foundation, Bowling Green State University, and the members of WBGU-TV.
Hi, we're the 6th graders from St. Peter's School, Upper Sandusky, home of the Rams. Welcome to News 6.
Hi, I'm Jenny Jackaloni from St. Peter's School, Upper Sandusky. Welcome to News 6. We have Kevin Lodge in the studio with our first story.
Thank you, Jenny. We began today's show with our story on a Wyandotte Indian Mission Church. We found that Upper Sandusky has a keen sense of history.
Is this the original church built here? And what's so special about it?
Yes, it is the original church, built by our federal government in 1824 for the Wyandotte Indians. And then the Indians were forced out of this area in 1843 and moved westward. And then the church became empty and for a number of decades went through decay and into ruins. And then in 1889, funds were brought together and the church was rebuilt using the same stones.
What are some other original articles in this church?
The original articles are very few because the relic hunters carried them away. The wall to our back is original and was the only wall that remained standing. All the three other walls were torn down and relaid, and those stones are original. These benches that we're seated upon are duplicate of like what the Indians had, and they were made by a local sawmill so that we can show the church today and have a likeness of what it was back then.
I heard that there are some interesting tombstones in this cemetery. Would you tell me something about them?
Yes. We have one unusual one that is dated February 31st, 1869. And we don't know how that date got on it. We think it's a stonecutter's mistake. However, there never was a February 31st. Then the other stone that we have looked at here is to a black man, John Stewart. And he is the founder of the Wyandotte Mission here at Upper Sandusky in 1816. And within this fencing around these grouping of stones are other Wyandotte Indians that are buried here, and many of them would be converts from over to Christianity.
This News 6 is produced by the 6th grade class of St. Peter's School, Upper Sandusky, which is located 10 miles southeast of Cary. It was founded in 1843 and has a population of 6,300.
In our story about the Prairie Maize Popcorn Factory, we found that the finest hybrid corn is growing on farms throughout the Midwest in order to supply the growing demand for the Wyandotte snacks.
Where did the name Prairie Maize come from?
Well, the group of individuals or shareholders who own Prairie Maize wanted something representative of this area. So the word prairie for agriculture in Ohio, and maize, I think, is a Spanish word for corn. And so Prairie Maize representing agriculture and popcorn in Ohio.
How do you choose what popcorn to pop when it comes in from the farm?
Well, our farmers grow several different hybrids or types of popcorn. And we select the popcorn that we're using for production that day based on the hybrid that it is, and also on the percentage of moisture. Popcorn has to be 13 to 15% moisture to pop. And so when it gets in that range, and we do this by using dryers in the bin, when it gets in that range and it's the type that we want, that's what we use for production.
How many different kinds of popcorn do you produce?
Normally, we would produce 12 to 15 different varieties of popcorn each year. Of those varieties, 3 would be of white popcorn and 10 to 12 of yellow popcorn. Sometimes we do have a little mixture of the colors, and so we have color sorting equipment that looks at the front and back of each kernel, and by use of a computer ejects the kernels that are the wrong color for that particular sales variety of popcorn. For example, theaters and ballparks, or when you go to the football game, they like one type of popcorn because they're going to be using it there at the ballpark. If you're going to do home cooking on the stove, we have another type of popcorn. They're all very similar, but they're specifically selected for how you're going to use the popcorn.
On Kids View today, we tried to see what we find most useful in what we are taught in school.
Hi, I'm Kristen Wood reporting for Kids View. Today's question is, what subject that you study now do you find most useful outside of school? Melissa, what do you think?
Math, because when you go to the store, it helps you learn how to count your money.
And Corinne?
Social studies, because you can learn more about your environment.
And Laura, what do you think?
I think gym because I like all different kinds of sports and I like running.
Thank you. This is Kristen Wood signing off for Kids View.
We take you now back to the 1800s when the Wyandotte County Museum was built. This is another monument dedicated to our town's sense of history.
Why was this house chosen to be the museum?
It's a perfect setting for the time period that we are portraying because the house is a Normandy mansion that was built in 1853. It's one of the earliest homes here in the county that was built during that time period.
What are some interesting items in the museum?
There are many. In this room in particular are several roller organs and things from the 1800 time period. We also have on exhibit in our Indian room a glacial cane Indian, which is over 3,000 years old. Also downstairs here are a lot of early medical bottles and things from the 1800 time period, as well as a lot of the dishes and things from the 17, 18, and 1900s.
Can you tell us about the schoolroom in the backyard?
The original one-room school was built in the early 1900s in Dunkirk, Ohio. It was a Lions Club project, and they did it for the museum here. They brought it into Upper Sandusky piece by piece, completely dismantled it, and brought it into the museum grounds and completely refurbished it back to the early 1900s. And the schoolhouse is filled with desks and things that the teachers would have used, lunch pails and things of that nature from that time period.
Bye now from St. Peter's School. See you next week with the 6th graders of Allen East Middle School.
Local support for News 6 has been provided by the Ropey Rubber Corporation of Astoria, the Northwest Ohio Educational Technology Foundation, Bowling Green State University, and the members of WBGU-TV.